So you've likely checked your investment account or seen the news that PGEN 2012 has been approved, and as a result, the investment that you made in Precigen has skyrocketed. And I really just wanted to take this opportunity, first of all, to thank a number of you. I woke up this morning to see the share price increase in my account and then had to check the news. Obviously on a bit of a different time zone to some of you guys. But I think one of the things I really enjoyed today was being able to engage with a number of you in real time. So as the stock was trading, as the price was going up, I checked the notifications and the comments and replied to a number of you guys. And so I think the big dilemma now is like, what do we do? What do we do now that we've seen the stock maybe double or triple? There's a big dilemma going on in our heads. Do we sell? And if we do sell, at what price do we sell versus do we hold out for an acquisition? And I think this is one of the difficult things, right? Is if you do want to sell, when is the optimum price to sell? And, actually I made a bit of a mistake, if you like, or, we say that these things are mistakes with hindsight, but did I sell a little bit too early? And why do I say that? I say that because on Monday, there is actually a conference call that's been announced on the PGEN website, where they're going to talk a lot more about strategy, the business strategy moving forward and the execution. And so like I said, there's this big dialogue, within our own heads. What do we do? Do we sell post the conference call on a Monday, or do we hold on for this acquisition? And if we do hold on for this acquisition, when might this acquisition take place? Now, key thing to note is that all of this stuff is just my opinion. This is my interpretation of kind of the research that I've done, whether that's researching Randall Kirk's track record of the past, the behavior in the past, what he's done, and also just looking at different price points for different stocks. And I think one of the things that I didn't struggle with, but I was wrestling with today as I was kind of planning my exit was, what price is it likely to get versus what price do I want it to get? And I'd put a number of sell orders in, and a number of those did not hit. And I think one of the critical things with my strategy is that, yes, it's great to take money, and I always recommend that, it's never a mistake to sell on profit, right? One of the things that I really like with my strategy is there's a level of indifference as to whether I sell or whether I hold, whether whether when I place a market order at a sell, if it reaches it, great. If it doesn't really matter because I'm aligned with Randall Kirk. Again, my strategy is always to align with an individual first because I've looked at their track record. I've seen that they've done these things numerous times. He is the majority shareholder, so fundamentally, he's going to take actions in the interest of shareholders because he wants to achieve maximum value for the shares that he holds. And so, like I said, on one hand, there is this alignment with Randall Kirk, but then I don't think it's a mistake to take money off the table at this time. Why do I say that? Because on one hand, I'm looking at potential other biotech or pharmaceutical companies that I could cycle some of those profits back into. And we're still in a period of euphoria with this stock. And so like I was saying, PGEN's trading at in and around 3.18 at the moment. And it's always very difficult to make an optimum exit. But we do have this catalyst that I mentioned on Monday. And I think that's kind of the critical opportunity where effectively we will see the highest share price for this stock during this kind of period of approval. And just to reiterate, I don't think that there's anything wrong with taking money off the table when you have achieved a profit. At the same time, I think one of the great things about investing this kind of strategy of aligning with highly experienced biotech titans, the likes of Randall Kirk and some of the others I've mentioned, Patrick Soon-Shiong, Philip Frost, Dietmar Hopp, is that even if you don't take money off the table, or if you do kind of, make the mistake of holding on for more money and you don't actually achieve the sale, irrespective of that, these individuals are known to, they've made billions off the back of investing or holding majorities of these companies. So even if you don't manage to kind of make an exit at your preferred price during this period of time, you can just kind of hold on until there is this potential acquisition. And so I think one of the critical things to note with this acquisition, I've seen a number of people kind of saying that it could happen on the Monday. I'm just going to talk from what I've seen with Randall Kirk. And what I've seen with Randall Kirk is his acquisitions. Typically, they don't happen quickly. From what I've seen, it can take 6 months, it can take 8 months, it can take something like that. So what does that mean? It means that effectively, from that interpretation of when these acquisitions do take place in the past with Randall Kirk's previous biotech companies, is that there's quite a window of time here, of 6 months or 8 months for the price to go up in this period of euphoria, for it to calm down, and then that may be an opportunity to make another entry within that 6 month or 8 month window in time for the acquisition. Now, this may seem a little bit complicated for some of you that don't really want to do the kind of swing trading style, and that's perfectly fine, because irrespective, like I said, Randall Kirk's ethos, he's holding a large majority of the share, is that he's going to look for maximum value. So his team, the hard work starts now for his team. They're going to be grinding over the next 6 months, 8 months, trying to make all of these sales to demonstrate this proof of sale so that he can then sell off the company. And so, like I said, the critical thing now is this call on the Monday. And like I said, thanks again for all of you. I really enjoyed engaging with you, communicating with you guys in real time, and me being able to share a lot of that stuff on Twitter, the observations I was getting as I was, arranging my exit plan and selling some of the stock as well. But look, thanks so much. And naturally, I'll keep you updated with the next PGEN as soon as I find it. But look, all the best. Take care. Thanks.